Obviously, if we're in a situation where somebody's communicating to us an issue, we might need to ask questions. So we might ask the questions. If we're in maybe a learning environment, we're asking different types of questions. But ask questions because those questions can lead to learning. Learning leads to growth, the growth mindset, and that is a big part of having a successful persona, a successful person, a successful team is gaining that knowledge, learning, and growing. It's that growth mindset. And so sometimes I'll ask questions just out of curiosity, just because I want to know something, want to learn something, want new knowledge. You're from another country. What's it like there? What's dinner like? What's food like? What's every day like? Sometimes people that come from another country and they sit in my class, I'll ask them all kinds of questions. And then they'll be like, can you stop asking me questions now? Because I just want to know, that thirst for knowledge. Make sure it's the right kind of questions that you're asking. For example, parents, when talking to your kids about school each day, don't just ask them, how was your day? And you get a fine response. Ask them something maybe more specific, like, what did you learn today that you did not already know? Something like that might require a longer response from you. What did you learn today that you did not already know? A successful person that has a constructive mindset is taking in the information, processing it, analyzing it, questioning it, ask questions, researching it, then accepting and rejecting it. So we can do the same thing with our questions. We can learn, we can listen, process the information, then respond. We don't need to be quick-tongued. Remember, listening, asking questions. Two pivotal parts of the conversation process that people have kind of forgotten about. I think there was a slogan by NBC TV at one time. You know, that slogan said, the more you know. So yeah, the more you know. How do you know? Well, you can do some research, but you can also ask questions. And you don't need to be afraid to ask those questions. The other thing too, which I think is something that's important that people need to reconsider, is profanity. Profanity is never necessary. Granted, I will put the exception, because there's always an exception to every rule, although I might be criticized for this in some circles, but sometimes a word of profanity can be funny in comedic situations. However, with that being said, there never really is a need for profanity. It has so many negative effects. First of all, it limits your impression by other people. It's just a negative thing. Most people use profanity to express a negative emotion, anger, hate, jealousy. Not too often will promote something positive. And if it does, maybe it kind of dulls or shines that positivity. It shows limited vocabulary. Oftentimes it doesn't make sense in the situation, but people still throw it down. Profanity in public, I think anyways, shows a lack of respect to other people. It lacks courtesy for others.